hello there. Assalamualaikum. So, you are with me, Miss Zahira, and in our language art class today, we are going to do a new activity called Reader's Theater. So, what is Reader's Theater? Basically, Reader's Theater is a very simple form of theater. Why? Because we don't need fancy clothes or fancy scenery. What we need is just a script. And we just read the script with correct intonation and also expression. So now, let's start. Okay, class. So sometimes when we are reading the script, we need to change our voice a little bit according to the tone. Sometimes we need low tone and high tone. And that is why we need to do our warm-up vocal activity. So I want all of you to stand up straight right now and be ready for our vocal warm-up activity because this will help you with the activity later.
1, 2, ready, go.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
Okay, now let's do it together.
1, 2, ready, go.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la, sol, la, ti, do.
Okay, very good. Now let's get harder. Ready?
1, 2, ready, go.
La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la.
Ready?
1, 2, ready, go.
Do, re, do, do, re, mi, re, do, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
Okay, now we are done with our vocal warm-up activity. I hope that you are now ready to read the script with good intonation and expression. Let's start! Well, since the Christmas celebration is almost here, let's do the Reader's Theater activity based on a Christmas celebration story, which is The Baker's Dozen. This story is actually a St. Nicholas tale. If you don't know St. Nicholas, he is actually very famous for his art of giving among the Christians. So now let's take a look at the cover of this storybook. There is a man wearing the chef cap, so this is the baker. And look, he is holding a cookie. Okay? And this story is actually narrated and retold by Aaron Shepard, and the pictures is illustrated by Wendy Edelson. Okay, when we want to start with Reader's Theater, we must know the characters in the story first. In this story, there are 4 characters: narrator 1 and 2, baker, and also the woman. If in real class, we can split roles and do it together. But since you are at home, you can read together with me. I will be narrator 1 and also the woman, and you will be narrator 2 and the baker. Let's start with the first page. Narrator 1. In the Dutch colonial town, later known as Albany, New York, there lived a baker, Van Amsterdam, who was as honest as he could be. Now it's your turn, narrator 2. You can read together with me. Each morning, he checked and balanced his scales, and he took great care to give his customers exactly what they paid for, not more and not less. So this is Van Amsterdam, which is illustrated in the storybook. Now, narrator 1. Van Amsterdam's shop was always busy because he was a good baker, and never was the shop busier than in the days before December 6th, when the Dutch celebrate St. Nicholas Day. At that time of year, people flocked to the baker's shop to buy his fine St. Nicholas cookies. So this is the cookies. Now narrator 1 turn. Made of gingerbread, eyes in red and white. They look just like St. Nicholas. Now your turn. Tall and thin, with a high red bishop's cap and a long red bishop's cloak. So if you don't know what is a cloak, well, this red robe is the cloak. It is the outer layer of our clothes. Now narrator 1 again. One St. Nicholas Day morning, the baker was just ready for business when the door of his shop flew open. In walked an old woman wrapped in a long black shawl. So now, this is the woman's role. Maybe we can change our voice to be a little bit small to suit the characters. I go first. I have come for 1,000 of your St. Nicholas cookies. Taking a tray, Van Amsterdam counted out 12 cookies. He started to wrap them, but the woman reached out and stopped him. I asked for 1,000. You have given me only 12. Finally, it's the baker's turn. Maybe we can change our voice a little bit to show that the man is speaking. Let's try. Madam, everyone knows that 1,000 is 12. I say 1,000 is 13. Give me one more. And then back to narrator 2. Van Amsterdam was not a man to bear foolishness. And then the baker said, remember to change your voice. Madam, my customers get exactly what they pay for, not more and not less. Then you may keep the cookies. See, the woman is very angry, so you can change your voice to express the emotion of the character. And also, if you look at the picture here, the woman is holding her face. It shows how angry she is. Narrator 1. She turned to go, but stopped at the door. Van Amsterdam, however honest you may be, your heart is small, and your face is tight. Fall again, mount again, learn how to count again. Then she was gone. From that day, everything went wrong in Van Amsterdam's bakery. His bread rose too high or not at all. His pies were sour or too sweet. His cakes crumbled or were chewy. His cookies were punch or toffee. Now let's take a look at the picture. You see, the woman right here is spitting her tongue, and also the kid right here, and this one girl right here also spitting their tongue, meaning that the cookies and the bread is not delicious anymore. Leonard 1. His customers soon noticed the difference. Before long, most of them were going to other bakers. Then Van Amsterdam said to himself, "That old woman has bewitched me. Is this how my honesty is rewarded?" So he is clueless. Narrator 2. A year passed. The baker grew poorer and poorer. Since he sold little, he baked little, and his shelves were nearly bare. His last few customers slipped away. Finally, on the day before St. Nicholas' Day, no one came to the bakery. At day's end, the baker sat alone, staring at his unsold St. Nicholas cookies. And then the baker said, "I wish St. Nicholas could help me now." Remember, you must change your voice according to the character. That night, the baker had a dream. He was a boy again, one in a crowd of happy children. And there, in the midst of them, was St. Nicholas himself. Nicholas pulled out one gift after another and handed them to the children. Okay, class, if you don't know how St. Nicholas looks like, it is already illustrated in the picture here in the storybook. The man in the red cloak. See the man here? This is St. Nicholas. Okay, now let's continue. But Van Amsterdam noticed something strange. No matter how many presents Nicholas passed out, there were always more to give. In fact, the more he took from the baskets, the more they seemed to hold. Narrator 1. Then Nicholas handed a gift to Van Amsterdam. It was one of the baker's own St. Nicholas cookies. Narrator 2. Smiling down at him was the old woman with the long black shawl. So remember this woman? The woman that is very angry in the bakery before? Van Amsterdam awoke with a start, thinking, "I always give my customers exactly what they pay for. Not more and not less. But why not give more?" And then, narrated 2. The next morning, St. Nicholas' Day, the baker rose early. He made his gingerbread dough and rolled it out. He molded the shapes and baked them. He iced them in red and white to look just like St. Nicholas. And the cookies were as fine as any he had made. Van Amsterdam had just finished when the door flew open. In walked the old woman with the long black shawl. Now the woman remembered to change her voice. "I have come for a dozen of your St. Nicholas cookies." Back to narrator 1. In great excitement, Van Amsterdam counted out 12 cookies and one more. And then the baker said, "In this shop, from now on, a dozen is 13. And then the old woman smiling and said, "You have learned to count well. You will surely be rewarded." The narrator 1. She paid for the cookies and started out. As the old woman foretold, Van Amsterdam was rewarded. When people heard he counted 13 as a dozen, he had more customers than ever. In fact, Van Amsterdam grew so wealthy that the other bakers in town began doing the same. And then the last part, number 2. And this, they say, is how 13 became the biggest dozen. The end. Yay! Give a round of applause to yourself because we are done with our Reader's Theater. What do you think about the story? What moral that you can gain from the story? Yes, the moral is we should be generous to those around us. The more you give, the more you will receive. Remember in the story, when Saint Nicholas gave 13 cookies as a dozen, he grew so wealthy that the other bakers in the town began doing the same thing. And this could happen in our daily life. Don't afraid to give more because in return, you will surely receive more. And now, what you need to do is duet the Reader's Theater TikTok video that I have made. I will be the woman and you will be the baker. I will read the orange line and you will read the blue line. So this is how it's going to be.
Reader's Theater Challenge. Duet me. You are the blue line. I asked for a dozen. You have given me only 12.
Now it's your turn.
But I say a dozen is 13. Give me one more.
And then now it's your turn.
Then you may keep the cookies. Good job. Thank you so much for participating. See you soon. See you again. Bye.
Okay, so that is how the task would be. And you may get the link after you watch the video. Remember to do the duet me task, okay? We have come to the end of our lesson. I hope that you could get something from today's activities. Thank you so much for watching and remember to practice reading the script with correct intonation and expressions with your friends and family. Okay? Until then, bye!